Welcome to Virtual Drinking Academy. I'm Captain Awesome, and tonight we're making old fashions. So first we're going to start off with the legend and lore old fashions. Depending on who you read and what myths you like to subscribe to, bourbons go back, or the old fashions go back as far as 1803. The Pender's Club in Louisville is credited with it. It may or may not have started there, but they've got a 2-week festival for it, so we'll give Louisville as the origin of the old fashioned. Okay? Now the basic old fashioned, you're going to start off with a sugar cube, a couple dashes of Angostura bitters. You're going to crush up that sugar cube with the back of your bar spoon. Now you can see this doesn't crush up very easy, right? So we're going to go ahead and add in a piece of orange and a little cherry early on. And this is kind of the fruit salad concoction that they do for the bottom of the old fashioned there, okay? This is going to be a little gritty. That's okay. We didn't get most of it mixed up, but it's okay if it's not all mixed up. We're going to start off with a basic bourbon. We're going to do a 2-ounce pour. We're going to get a nice big ice cube in there. I'm going to grab another one here. Just give this a little smack. There we go, so that breaks up. Give this a nice stir. Now a lot of the old recipes, they add water and stuff to it. A lot of current recipes add some water to this. This is almost straight alcohol. I let the ice melt, and that works just fine. So, we've heard a lot about different old fashions. Well, old fashions come out of this notion of people trying to order a drink in the old fashioned way, which was a spirit, bitters, some sugar or simple syrup, and then a little water or ice. Okay? So you have a rum old fashioned. It's going to be the same way. Sugar cube. This time, I'm going to switch up to some Patriots bitters. About 3 or 4 dashes there. And let's go a little bit of the Reagan's orange, just for fun. Smash this up. Get that going real nice. Now, I'm not a real big fan of putting the fruit in the bottom of all these drinks, so I don't do that. If you like fruit salad in the bottom of your glass, feel free to do it. I won't judge you much. 2 ounces of rum. I like Mount Gay. Works pretty well. Grab that big ice cube. Give this a nice stir. Now with all these old fashions, we got a fair amount of ice in here. We're letting that melt down and everything. It's going to start off strong. It's going to get lighter and sweeter as it brews. Okay, as you drink it. Now, you get home, it's Monday night, you just want to sit down, you like to relax with an old fashioned. Here's my version of a fast old fashioned. Okay? So, I'm going to grab that Four Roses, nice basic bourbon, 2-ounce pour. I found this blood orange bitters in simple syrup. I'm not a big fan of using simple syrup with the old fashions, but in this case I'll break that rule. I'm doing a 1/2 ounce pour on the syrup. big ice cubes there. Forgot my sugar cube. We'll get that in there. It's Monday. I'm not messing with my bar spoon. I'm just grabbing an iced teaspoon, right? Iced teaspoon works just fine. I'm the only one in the house. I don't have to impress anybody. This works good. Get that to flow around a few times, you're all right. Okay, there's my fast old fashioned. What about a gin old fashioned? Same thing. Sugar cube. I got some homemade bitters here. This is a green tea and tropical fruit. I like a nice, go heavy, 3 little squirts on that. Let's get out the fancy muddler this time, right? I made this one in shop class. Get that broken up real well. Some of the Bombay Sapphire. Nice dry London gin for this. Get that working in there. Big cube of ice. And a half. There we go. Give that a stir. There's your gin old fashioned. Now, a lot of the lore and legend of the old fashioned comes out of Chicago. You start to go north of Chicago, what do you run into? You're going to run into the bourbon old fashioned. I'm sorry, not a bourbon old fashioned, brandy. So, we're going to do that sugar cube. I'm going to do the Angostura bitters. I don't think this bottle squirted out as much as some of the other ones, so I go heavier there. We'll muddle. Get that all broken up. Could break up a little more, but we'll get to that. Okay. For my brandy tonight, I'm using Courvoisier. Big ice cube. There we go. Rinse that off a little bit. Still had some sugar on there. Let's get this a nice stir. Get that sugar to dissolve some. You get that little sweet kick at the bottom, it's alright. Alright, there's our brandy old fashioned. Now sometimes I like to take this top shelf and I like to do what I call a grand old fashioned. So I'm going to toss that sugar cube in there. I'm going to take some of this Grand Marnier. Let's kick in a ½ ounce of Grand Marnier. And I like the Patriots with this one. A couple dashes of that. Break this up. That dissolves real nice. I'm going to switch up my bourbon. I'm going to go to the Wild Turkey 101 for this one. I think it's got a bit fuller flavor to it. This is about as top shelf as I would go for an old fashioned with bourbon. I got some real pretty bourbons around. Get that big ice cube in there. Give this a nice stir. Nice and easy. Okay, here's my grand old fashioned. Now, I got March 1st down the street. They make this great Sycamore bourbon, all local. This is too good for an old fashioned. Drink this straight. We don't use top shelf liquors in old fashions, okay? Our last one, we're going to go with the hipster old fashioned. Why not? So on our hipster old fashioned, we're going to skip the sugar cube, and I'm going to go with a bar spoon of real maple syrup. A little heavy on that one. Never know how fast that maple syrup's going to come, right? Let's go Angostura again. And a little Angostura orange. Then we got a little bacon washed bourbon here. Didn't wash this one as clean as I have some others. There's still a little bit of fat in there, but that's okay. Alright. I'm going to give this a stir. Make sure we get all that maple syrup off the bottom before we put that big ice cube in there. Let's go with 2 round ones this time, just for fun. Give this a real nice stir. So we got the bacon washed bourbon in here, some maple syrup. Let's go with a fancier garnish. We got a couple cocktail cherries. Go top shelf on these. Don't get the pink ones. You know, like the ice cream sundae ones. This is a nice dark cherry with the home smoked bacon. We'll toss that in there too. And that'll be real nice, okay? So tonight I introduced you some ways to do an old fashioned. We got our basic, which is what you would get at most restaurants if you ordered it. We did a rum old fashioned. Here's our Monday night fast one. We got our gin old fashioned. We got our brandy old fashioned. What I call my grand old fashioned with the Grand Marnier in there, very tasty. And then our hipster. All right. It's been a great evening. Drink responsibly. Good night.